Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another raid video for the new year 2025. I hope you had a great time, guys. So we're having news today, lots of news announcements, but I wanted to cover these specific news first, which is changes to upcoming heroes and especially coming champions, and especially one change. It's gonna be insane, completely changing how this champion works, going from a good champion to a pretty good champion. Not gonna say amazing champion, non-void. So one of them is a void champion, one of them is a non-void. We're gonna cover them right now, and let's get this started. I want to start covering first the void champion, which not many players are gonna have. It's gonna be Taria. Not many players have, so I'm not gonna say it's a great change, but it is something that they're working on and they're trying to make her a little bit better. So Taria, if we have a look at Taria right here, where is she? There she is, Dark Elf support. So with the upcoming changes, the goal for Taria, as they say, it's gonna be to enhance her supporting capabilities, grant her more protective effects for the team, as well as improving her crowd control potential. So let's have a look at the changes. So her A1, which is currently a decreased speed chance of 30% with 20% from books, now jumps up to 50%, and will also the ability to apply the fear. It's 30% for one turn on enemies with 50% or less turn meter now. So yeah, the 20% or less turn meter is significantly a bad choice on their part, because 20% less or less turn meter means you basically depleted their turn meter already, and then you took a turn with Taria and their turn meter will about be around the 20% mark for you to be able to apply this. So having this chance, it's very low. So they're boosting it there. It's a good way to go. Good way to go. So A2, stagnation sickness. So what are they changing here? So after attacking, she'll now have an 80% chance of decreasing each enemy's turn meter by 30%. Okay, so it's not about having the stun debuff. So there's not going to be a conditional about this. You will still have the chance to place the stun, but after attacking, you will have an 80% chance of decreasing each enemy's turn meter by 30%. So you don't care about this stun debuff. So if you do apply it, if you don't apply it, it's still going to count. It's basically you're stunning them, and then you also have the ability to decrease their turn meter. It's very nice. I think this was needed. The stun debuff here, it's basically was in the off chance you would get resisted, it would help a little bit, but again, it would go through with the resistance check on turn meter, so possibly you wouldn't be able to decrease it regardless. So that's another change that's coming. Then the A3, beyond emotions. So now what she does is she'll place a block debuff buff on all allies for 2 turns after the turn meter boost here that she cleanses, then fills turn meter. She'll place the block debuff buff for 2 turns, and then she'll do the fill of turn meter, and then do the other fill of turn meter. Overall, I like this change because it does give a buff to her, significant buff in terms of the block debuffs. Block debuffs is very crucial for many areas of the game, and with how some bosses now apply lots of debuffs, you want to have that, and especially if you're planning on using her somehow for the clown boss, that's going to help a little bit. So A4, the uncanny passive, immune to sleep, stun, freeze, fear, and true fear now. So instead of just immune to sleep, she's going to be immune to stun, freeze, fear, and true fear. I would have loved if she was also immune to sheep. That would have given her some access to PvP teams and helping players out with that. So overall, good change. Nothing insane, but still having immunity to sleep, stun, freeze, fear, and true fear basically makes her a very unique support. She's going to be now a support that can not be controlled. Very cool. Very cool. Can work for the Hydra, obviously. And also yeah, any area of the game, you can get frozen, feared, true feared. It's gonna work. I think these are good changes. The A2 is okay. The change after that, the A1, it's still good. It's now a higher chance to apply the decreased speed. This being an AoE attack also gives her a better spot in Hydra teams, because now she also has the block debuff buff. She's got the immunity to True Fear. She's going to be feeling Terminator as well. Overall, I like her as a support for the Hydra. You can give her possibly like a Hex set also with this AoE. Taria now, I believe, for players who are having issues with the Hydra, she can definitely fill a spot. I believe she filled a spot already with her kit in Hydra if you needed her. But with these changes that just came through, it's just even better. So, next one up. I'm so excited about this one because it's going to be Lord Var-Gall, guys. Lord Var-Gall. Honestly, it's not that he didn't need a buff. It's that he had a place already. And I believe he was changed. But I'm not, don't quote me on that. I believe he was changed in the past. But still, has a very solid kit in terms of applying the provoke here on one target enemy, applying strengthen on this champion. Solid support, has this fun passive where he can revive Skullsworn when Skullsworn dies. There were some fun teams way back in the day with them two together. I do have a Skullsworn because of that at level 60. But with these changes, guys, with these changes, what they are aiming to do, let's read on Plarium's thoughts. We're aiming to ensure Lord Var-Gall truly earns his title as a lord, enhancing his kit to better reflect his lordship status in the Lizardman faction. Okay, let's get started. The A1 attacks one enemy 2 times each hit, fills this champion's Terminator by 5%, has a 30% chance to repeat this skill. And now each hit places a 100% heal reduction debuff on the target for 2 turns. So each hit, I don't understand why each hit and not just, well, I guess the first hit. I'm guessing in the off chance this gets resisted. So now Lord becomes a very crucial heal reduction to apply heal reduction on enemies. And also if there's at least one allied champion from Lizards, if there's another Lizard in there with him, that's going to be an unresistible debuff. Okay, not unremovable, unresistible, meaning you don't need accuracy for this skill to work. And this is, by the way, and that's how it's going to go for all his skills. So I'm just preparing you guys. Let's have a look at his A2, this change. Now, basically, this debuff cannot be resisted. So the provoke debuff on the target cannot be resisted if the target, if there's at least one allied champion from the Lizardman's faction. So, and also places a 25% strengthened buff on all allies for 2 turns. They didn't specify this as the change. They put it in gold and bold letters. So yeah, this change is coming. So the strengthen is going to be as an big buff to the whole team. He's going to be placing the provoke, which is huge, and also unresistible. I'm already seeing teams together with this guy where he'll be able to apply that provoke on one enemy, okay, to be fair. And then also the strengthen is a very strong buff. So having that as part of his kit in a 2-turn cooldown, you guys don't understand how strong this can be with a 2-turn cooldown provoke and a strengthen buff as an AoE. You can rotate through that, basically have strengthen to your team throughout the fight. You won't need accuracy with one Lizardman in your team. If you give him a protection set, also that strengthen buff, basically 9-piece protection, that basically becomes a 5% damage buff minimum, plus any other buffs that you can possibly get from him. I don't think he has any other buffs, but protection set on him helps having that strengthen as a guaranteed buff. I don't think you'll use the protection set though, unless you really care about having the strengthen at all times. With such a short cooldown, I wouldn't really care. Honestly, running maybe Relentless or even Merciless would maybe be a better choice. So A3, Abyssal Clutch AoE attack, attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. So this as an AoE attack now will become unresistible if a Lizard's in your team. So the decrease attack, unresistible. A2, unresistible. A1, unresistible. Oh my god, yeah, Lord is gonna be running the show in terms of, you know, being the lord for the Lizard. So the passive, the first passive, what this now becomes, all right, is it has a 50% chance of placing a True Fear debuff on targets whose max HP has been destroyed by 20% or more. So how this now becomes is he'll have a 50% chance of placing a True Fear on targets with any destroyed max HP. So the True Fear will be applied to any targets. Very significant. So he'll initially be able to do this, guys. Okay, he'll initially be able to do this, the destroying the enemy's max HP. Any destroy max HP will cause him to start applying the True Fear. The thing with this is we have these 3 skills that if you've got a lizard in your team, now he becomes a no accuracy required champion. Basically meaning for stuff like the Hydra, you'll be able to build him with really defensive stats, high speed, make this rotation go like crazy, make him a amazing champion. Problem is the True Fear will be resistible, right? So I basically understand this as being too strong, maybe if they had it where any champion in the enemy team with destroyed max health would have now the chance to be True Fear. It would be too strong if he didn't have accuracy. So I would still build him with a little bit of accuracy, like maybe 250, 300 for PvP stuff, because now he'll become a very strong PvP champion. The next passive also changes where Skullsworn is no longer in the equation. He's not just the Lord of Skullsworns, he's the Lord of the Lizards, right? So any lizard will now be able to be revived, but now the cooldown has been increased to 3 turns, and it's going to be 1 lizard from the faction. I would have loved, honestly, if this was kept in there as a separate passive, but it is what it is. So Skullsworn getting changed. I think this is a huge change, makes him a Hydra monster. Okay, just having these low cooldown skills that are so impactful. The provoke here is very strong, going to be very good for the head of decay for the Hydra if you are having to use this sort of champion in part of your team. The heal reduction debuff that he can apply, you can use that for, well, the rotations where Amius is an issue for you. And then the A3 being able to apply decreased attack can again be huge. So let's keep on going, guys, with Raid Shadow Legends. They've already hinted, by the way, on the new champion that might be coming into the game. It's going to be relating to, as I said in like a previous video, as it's going to be relating to, let me see where I put this. Relating to something along the lines of Alice in Wonderland and how that is going to be affected in the game. I don't know who's going to be the free legendary champion. They did confirm there's going to be a free legendary champion for Teen Day login program, similar to what we had with Skeletor just recently. All the other champions will also be coming in, and a new event dungeon. I've already, you know, I've told you guys, without knowing, I guess that this was coming back, but at least they're going to be bringing back the pinpoint set, so you'll still have chances to farm that set. Plus something extra they mentioned. Plus something extra. I'm hoping they change the sets that are going to be giving in. Maybe throw in the Cursed set in there to apply the Hex. Maybe throw in Savage. Would be nice. It would make the event dungeon be the dungeon to farm. Highly doubt, though, that they'll do that because they don't want you to have only one place to farm. Maybe if they added some of the dust as a bonus reward, that would be nice, because the dust is really the biggest problem in my account. Because look at this, I've got 23,000, 26,537. So there's a big disparity with how I have these rewards across the board on my account. Anyway, guys, this was the video. Skull-Lord now becomes a true Lord of the Lizards. I love that change coming in for him. I think I have 1 or 2 copies of him, right? How many copies do I have? Just the 2? Okay, still good enough. We'll be testing him out when his time comes on the test server, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. Thank you all for watching this video. I think Skull-Lord also will be very strong together in teams with Teox, by the way. Teox and him together should be beautiful. I can see Skull-Lord, Pythian, Teox, Ramantu in the arena being really solid together. But anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you all. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.